All right, all right, all right, all right. I just jacked Kevin Hart, but he's so short. What can he do about it? All right, welcome back to the show. I'm Craig Shelton. This is HMW Sports Talk Live. We are the HMW Creeps. Hashtag Creeps on Twitter. Go check out the website, HoustonMediaWatch.com. That is Richard Big Walker back on set. He also produces this show, so you may see him in, you may see him out. Avid Cowboy fan, Laker fan, Yankee fan,
Cardinal
front
fan.
runner,
Cardinal fan, man.
Beyonce fan.
Hey.
If it's top notch, it's Richard Walker,
That's
man.
right.
That's Angelo Lawford over there, folks, from HMW. And we appreciate you folks checking out the show. Joining us on the phones right about now is a guy who's a Texas Tech Red Raider, a place where fans will really challenge you at basketball games and push you around if you go for it. And also, he's my former co-host on The Cut. We used to do a radio show on Houston's KCOH radio. Black Power. Just had to say that. KCOH radio. That's what they do over there, Black Power. Right? Race bait. But Marcus Coleman, former NFL defensive back, joins us on the phone. Marcus, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Man, fantastic. I appreciate you going out of your way to join us on the show today. I know you got a busy schedule. The moment that the story broke last weekend with the smart kid from Oklahoma State, great basketball player, and the Texas Tech fan, I immediately thought of you, and I thought of my brother, Kevin, who obviously both of you guys played defensive back in different times, but at Texas Tech, and I picked up the phone and I texted him and I texted you. And initially, he committed to be on the show in studio today, but today is my nephew, Kevin Jr.'s birthday, and I'm out doing a little paintball thing with the family, so he couldn't join us today. But I appreciate you holding tact with us, and that was the story of the moment at that time, the incident with the smart kid from Oklahoma State and the Texas Tech fan, and boy, did Smart get lucky a day or so later when everything just went crazy with Michael Sam and that entire situation.
Right.
Let me give you a little history here on the show. Last year, Marcus, when the situation was going on with Manti Te'o, and there was some speculation that this kid, the reason why he didn't go to BYU and he ended up going to Notre Dame, was because that, people thought that the kid was gay, okay? We started hearing that rumor. We had a huge debate about it here on this show. Richard and I were on Richard Walker is in studio from HMW, and also Angelo Lawford is on the set with us, Marcus, from HMW. We had a big debate at that time. Mainly Richard and I were had different views in regard to the NFL locker room. So here was my take, Marcus. I didn't think Richard was adamant that NFL locker rooms are not ready for gay players. Here's my take on it. Hogwash. Of course, the NFL locker room is ready for gay players. Gay players have been in the NFL locker room all along. It would be impossible with the percentage of gay people in the world, in the country, for gay people to not have already been in the locker room.
But you forgot
when
one
I
piece,
was
though,
in
Craig.
middle school, when I was in high school, there were gay guys playing football. There was one in particular that I knew every time I took the football, I had better try to take it to the house, because if I didn't, he would. So I just don't buy what's going to happen. NFL athletes go to clubs. There's gay people in the clubs. They go shopping. There's gay people in the mall. I do not believe that NFL athletes are just so macho, so testosterone-filled that they just can't survive.
That's not the whole
and
point, though,
pre-exist and coexist, rather,
That's not the whole
with
point.
gays. Marcus, you played in the league. Tell me if I am out of my mind.
Well, first of all, thank y'all for having me. And Angela and Richard, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man?
What's up? What's up, Marcus? Go Cowboys.
Not much. Yeah, go Cowboys.
That's when you say boo.
Exactly. You know what? It's interesting. Here's the thing. A lot of points that Craig brought up. He's exactly right. there have been gay players in the NFL for as long as, remember, going all the way back to, the 70s and the 60s and, all the way up to now. The thing that, as far as is an NFL locker room ready for a gay player, I would say yes. There have been, I know myself personally, I've, just knowingly played with 2 or 3 myself during my 11-year career. Mm-hmm. It didn't change how, I felt about him in the locker room. It didn't make me any more, or make me uncomfortable when I was in the locker room. And the guys came to work. They did their job, and whatever they did outside of, the football facility is their business. And
exactly.
They have the right to that. Yes,
exactly.
They have the right to that.
Did you hear what this man just said? Marcus, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I wanted to add to this because, see, Craig, as he usually does, especially when it comes to me, he only tells half the story. Now, I said when we had this conversation last year, I said the NFL wasn't ready for an openly gay player because the other players don't give a damn about your lifestyle. They don't care. Shut up, tackle, block, pass, kick, whatever the hell it is that you do. We don't want to hear about it. Am I wrong,
yeah,
Marcus?
But when you add to that statement, they're not ready. That's just
they don't want to hear about it.
You can't.
They don't care.
I don't care either. But you can't micromanage the intelligence and intellectual capacity of an entire league of men. That would be like some of our detractors with HMW saying because they hate Craig, the rest of HMW is incapable of whatever you want to say.
Oh, hell, they say that anyway.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah.
It's completely ridiculous. Go ahead, Marcus.
Right, yeah, and that's actually correct. It's not that the locker room is not ready. It's truly just because nobody cares. Like,
shut up and play football.
And people understand that, just as a human being, and especially in a pro locker room, everybody's gonna like different things. Mm-hmm. There are different guys doing other things on different levels, and there are guys that are involved in different things. Some people are family men. Some people do like to go out and pop bottles all the time. Some people are strip club guys. Some people like to travel. Some people are gay. Some people, do. There's a lot of different things and a lot of different personalities that are clashing in that one room. However, unless you're invited, I should say, to participate like in somebody's lifestyle, like when, for instance, there are, husband and wives and players that, have families, they'll get together and their wives may hang out together and their kids may go to the same school and go to the movies together and interact all the time. And then you have single guys that hang out a lot, things like that. Unless you're invited, nobody really cares and nobody forcibly invades your privacy or invades your personal life. So it's not a big deal that somebody's gay, somebody likes blue, somebody likes black, somebody likes yellow. Nobody cares. As long as you come in and do your job in the facility and do your job on Sundays or Thursdays whenever the games are played, that's all that matters because everybody is trying to get that ultimate goal, and that's to win a championship. That's all that matters.
Folks, that's Marcus Coleman, former NFL defensive back with the Jets, with the Houston Texans, and with Richard's lowly Dallas Cowboys. Let's jump on and move around a little bit here, and let's talk a little bit about the Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin situation, Marcus. Obviously, I've talked to you off air. You're aware of the situation and the story. I don't want to regurgitate reading text and all of the things that we've heard about in regard to what was said. We know it was some racial stuff said. It was personal things said. Well, family members insulted. Other players were also a part of this alleged abuse. Team trainer, Asian, I believe, American team trainer was also targeted in some of this alleged abuse. I want to get into quotes. We all smart enough to know what, kind of what happened just by mentioning it in generic terms. What I want to talk to you about is the down and dirty. Tell us about this NFL locker room, because when guys like me and Richard walk in the locker room after the 15-minute cool-off period after games, by the time we guys walk in the locker room, you have already had that conversation with the coach, that initial conversation. So by the time the media comes in, or as Kareem Jackson calls us, the vultures, cover somebody, Kareem.
Well, he was correct. Vultures do circle around dead men.
Well, I guess you're right.
Anyway.
But by the time that we walk in the locker room, the guys that we get have had 15 minutes to cool down, and we don't know what's going on in those private meetings and things like that. Is it possible that what we're hearing is as bad as it seems? Have you ever been around, experienced anything to the level of what we're hearing happen with these guys in Miami?
No, I've never, in my 11 years, I've never experienced anything on the level that those guys were doing it in Miami. They, honestly, and I'm speaking just from my experience and as a player, as many locker rooms as I've been in with as many different personalities and as many different players, no one has ever gone that far. And if it was even bordering on the lines of getting to that far, whether it be an older vet or a coach or somebody at least said something, made a statement as to where, you know what, that's not how we act. We're not going to treat each other like this. You know, it's supposed to be a room full of brothers, you know, one job, you know, et cetera. But it's never gotten to that level. And you definitely didn't, and I think this is what the difference between our generation, the way that we grew up, and the way that this new generation grows up. And I play with a lot of old heads. I'm talking about like the Brian Coxes, the Pepper Johnsons, the Marvin Jones, the Mo Lewises. You know, I play with some, you know, pretty solid old head guys. And, you know, whether it be racial slurs or whether it be, you know, I guess some of the derogatory statements made about people's, you know, somebody's mom,
right?
You know, going that far. None of that would have even, the first word or sentence of that even remotely happening, they would have been all over it and all over the person that would have said it. And the fact that in Miami, nobody in that locker room said anything to Incognito. Sure, I understand that he's, you know, a 6'5", 300-pound white dude that's really big and, you know, is nasty and, you know, likes to, you know, cheap shot people and hit people. I totally understand that. But you don't let anybody, regardless of who it is, what the size is, you don't let anybody degrade you,
right,
your family, your kids, you know, anybody like that. You just don't let that happen. Not even as a football player. It's just as a man. It's just as a human being.
Right, which basically means Jonathan Martin had some responsibility in standing up for himself as well. Folks, that's Marcus Coleman, former NFL defensive back. Marcus, I want you to hang in there. We're at the end of this segment. We're going to roll to a break, folks. When we come back, we have more with Marcus Coleman, and we're going to bring it on home to Houston. We're going to talk about Johnny Manziel and his comments in the John McClain from the Houston Chronicles article right here on HMW Sports Talk Live. Folks, hang in there. We'll be right back.